Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video is an update on my journey through menopause and my experience with hormone replacement therapy. When last we spoke about this topic, it was about a year ago. I had just started on HRT after discussing it with my doctor, and we kind of left it there. I was just going to glide off into the future doing that. But a lot of you have asked recently, like, how's it going? Has anything changed? And I get a lot of other kind of recurring questions from that video that since I had just started on it, I couldn't really answer them then. And while I'm not an expert and I'm not a doctor and I am just as in the dark about what to do about menopause as you are, I feel like it's good for us to have a place to chat and to help each other. So anyway, that's what the point of this video is. I'm just sharing my experiences with menopause and HRT, okay? So anything that I do is not necessarily going to be right for you, and it might even not necessarily be right for me, but it's what my doctor and I decided to do at the time based on my family history, my lifestyle, and all the things that you have to take into mind before you go on HRT. I started on a patch that was like an all-in-one thing. It was really easy to use and great. It was called the Climera Pro, which I have heard since then has been discontinued. I'm not sure if that's true or not because I am not on it anymore. Although I do keep getting notifications from CVS that they keep refilling it, so I don't think it has been discontinued. When I first started taking it, I got to tell you, I was so thrilled with it because it immediately alleviated my symptoms. It's a patch that was a bioidentical estrogen along with progesterone all in one patch. You wear it for a week and then you trade out the patch and you put on a new one. My hot flashes stopped, my night sweats stopped, I started sleeping like a baby, which also took care of my moodiness during the day and crankiness and tired feelings. So I am no longer on the Climera Pro patch. I stopped taking that about 2 months ago, and that's because about 9 months or a year into taking the Climera Pro patch, I did have some bleeding, like a period. And at the time, I wasn't sure if that was bad or if it was okay or if it was normal when you're on hormone replacement therapy to start having periods again. I had no idea. So I called my doctor's office. They said, no, you shouldn't be having any bleeding. So when I went in, she was like, okay, now we have to do a test for uterine cancer. She goes, I don't think you have cancer. Let me tell you this. She was very comforting. She was like, I don't think you have it. I think it's probably just that we need to adjust your hormones, but we need to check anyway. So so we did that, and that came back negative, thank goodness. I had too much estrogen and not enough progesterone in that combo patch. So she was looking for another combo patch to put me on at a lower dose estrogen. There wasn't one. So I ended up having to split my products in two. So now I am on a different patch. This is Alvogen Estradiol Transdermal System, 0.0375 milligrams per day. The progesterone I have is just a pill, and I have to take one of these little guys every day. Take it every night before I go to bed, and so far so good. I've only been on it 2.5 months, but assuming that I progress forward with this and I don't have any bleeding, then we will probably keep me on this for the foreseeable future. Of course, my doctor wants me to be off the hormone replacement therapy within 3 to 5 years. So taking this combo has been fairly effective, definitely effective for the night sweats and for the hot flashes. I continue to not have those, but it's much less effective than the Climera Pro patch was on the sleep problem, and so I'm not sleeping as well. I'm not getting as much rest and good quality sleep as I was on the other higher dose HRT. So that's kind of a bummer, which is why, if this one doesn't work out and she wants to wean me off, I think it'll be okay, because the hot flashes really weren't what bothered me that much. It was more the sleepless nights that I couldn't take, and where this isn't really helping me that much with the sleep. I mean, I'm sleeping better than I was before I started HRT completely, but not as good as I was when I was on the Climera Pro patch. I did want to answer some of the questions that you guys have asked me. The one that people ask most is, did I experience any weight gain on HRT? And I have to say I did not. I tend to be the same year in, year out. My weight doesn't fluctuate, it doesn't change. People wanted to know particularly about, kind of a midsection bulge. Yeah, I definitely have that, but I don't, it started happening before I started on HRT. I think that's just part of menopause and our age. It is very hard to keep my midsection toned as I get older, but like I said, I'm not sure that's because of the HRT. I think it's just because of menopause in general. And I don't know that there's that much I can do about it. I still continue to do the same amount of ab work as I did before. I used to have, probably until I was 52, 53, had a fairly flat midsection. Not anymore. I mean, it is fairly flat, but it definitely has that little like, woo, outward going curve now that I never had before. Another question is about hair and skin, and have I noticed a difference in my skin since starting HRT? I feel like maybe my skin is slightly more firm, I guess, on HRT than without it. I don't think it's anything like it's going to turn back the hands of time, 5 or 10 years difference in your look, but I think it does make a little bit of a difference. People also ask, am I afraid of getting breast cancer? Well, you know, of course. Who isn't? I'm afraid of all cancers, but I'm also afraid of heart disease, and some of those conflicting reports from some of the research would indicate that it can have sort of a protective effect for heart disease, and that runs in my family far, far more than breast cancer does. You know, is that report true? Is it protective against heart disease? I don't know. That is one of those ones that's kind of controversial, but you know, like I kind of hope so. But I did want to direct you guys to a study, and actually this I only found out about because someone left a comment underneath my previous video with a link right to it. And I'm going to put the link below this video so that you guys can find it and read it for yourself. But it is a little bit of like a glimmer of hope out there if you are on HRT. And the study basically indicated that as far as dying from using HRT is concerned, that there was no difference in mortality from using HRT, whether it was estrogen and progesterone or just estrogen, versus not using HRT. And it looked at heart disease, it looked at cancer, and it looked at kind of all causes of mortality. So that was good, like literally statistically, no difference between them. And it was a huge study that was done over 18 years with over 27,000 women. So an interesting study to take a look at. You know, not saying that, oh, suddenly HRT is 100% safe, but something to look at anyway if you're weighing out the decisions. There's another study where there might be a new option for menopausal symptoms on the horizon, and it says that it can stop your hot flashes in 3 days. This is not something that is available yet. It's still in development. It's still being studied. They actually have had to change the formula because it did have some potentially not so good outcomes on another organ, but they are looking to get it going. It may take 3 or 5 years for this to be out, so it's probably going to be out too late for me to use it. Then again, maybe not. If I want to be off of HRT in 5 years, it might come out just in time for me to get off HRT but not have to deal with hot flashes. Because, you know, according to my mother, I'm going to be having hot flashes until I'm 70. So in another 5 years, I will be 60. And when I'm off the HRT, if I do start having hot flashes and this thing comes on the market, well, that would be great. So I will link that study below as well. So that's it for today. That's my whole update and everything I wanted to share with you guys. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day. So take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.